The room is small. Mirrored walls, a screen, 2 microphones, a tambourine nobody asked for, but everyone will use. The door closes, and something happens that couldn't happen anywhere else. In Korean social life, the team manager, who hasn't smiled all week, is singing a ballad with his eyes closed. The intern, who barely speaks in meetings, is doing a full choreography to a K-pop song from 2009. The colleague, who maintains perfect chemistry in every professional interaction, is attempting a high note they will definitely not hit. Nobody is judging. Nobody is performing. For the next 2 hours, the hierarchy is not in this room. You think this is just karaoke. It isn't. This is the most precisely engineered hierarchy suspension technology in Korean social life, and it fits in a room the size of a large closet. This is K-Logic Field Test, and today we decode the Karaoke Protocol. Korea has approximately 35,000 Norebang. That density, one for roughly every 1,500 citizens, is not explained by a love of singing. Japan has karaoke, China has KTV, but the Korean Norebang format, the private room, the closed door, the specific social permission structure it creates, is distinctively Korean in its function. The key architectural decision is the private room. Public karaoke, the bar format where you sing in front of strangers, exists in Korea but is not the dominant format. The dominant format is private, your group, your room, your door closed to the outside world. This is not about performance anxiety. It is about social architecture. The private room creates a bounded social space, one that is simultaneously public enough to include the whole group and private enough to suspend the social protocols that govern Korean group interaction everywhere else. The closed door is the mechanism. It signals to everyone inside that the normal rules of the outside have been temporarily left at the threshold. Inside the room, the hierarchy doesn't disappear, but it loses its enforcement mechanism. The nunchi that reads social position continuously in open Korean social environments cannot operate in the same way inside a room where everyone is equally ridiculous, equally committed, equally willing to attempt the high note they cannot hit. The Norebang is the private room as social technology, the specific architectural solution to the specific Korean social problem of providing hierarchy suspension without alcohol, without uniforms, without any of the other mechanisms we've decoded in this series. Just a door, a microphone, and the specific social permission that comes from being in an enclosed space where failure is the price of admission. Protocol 1, the performance as permission. The Norebang creates hierarchy suspension through a mechanism that is unique in Korean social life, the shared commitment to voluntary public failure. In Korean social culture, visible failure carries chemian cost. The shame algorithm we decoded earlier in this series governs the relationship between visible imperfection and social standing. And in most Korean social environments, the rational response is to avoid visible failure wherever possible. The Norebang inverts this calculus. Inside the private room, the price of admission is precisely the willingness to attempt something you might fail at, in front of people whose opinion of you matters, without the chemian protection of the excuse. You are not singing badly because you had to. You chose to be here. You chose to pick up the microphone. You chose to attempt the high note. This shared vulnerability is the social technology. When the team manager closes their eyes and commits to the ballad, when the intern attempts the choreography, when the colleague reaches for the note they cannot hit, they are each performing a specific act of chemian surrender, not in the damaging sense of public failure outside the room, in the specific Norebang sense of choosing to be imperfect together. And that shared imperfection does something that almost no other Korean social space produces. It creates genuine horizontal connection between people who are separated by hierarchy everywhere else. The manager who watched you fail to hit the high note cannot maintain the full weight of their hierarchical position over someone they just watched commit entirely to a song from 1997. The shared vulnerability has restructured the relationship, temporarily, but measurably. Protocol 2. Jeong acceleration through music. The Norebang is one of the fastest Jeong accumulation environments in Korean social life. We decoded Jeong as the emotional adhesive that binds Korean relationships, the bond that accumulates through shared experience, shared vulnerability, and the specific Korean emotional experience of being genuinely present with another person. The Hosik produces Jeong through shared alcohol and hierarchy suspension. The Jeongbang produces Jeong through shared physical warmth and the removal of status markers. The Norebang produces Jeong through shared music and shared imperfection. Music is a Jeong accelerator because it bypasses the social processing layer that normally mediates Korean interaction. When the team manager sings a ballad with their eyes closed, they are not performing for the group. They are genuinely inside the song, in a state of emotional openness that the group witnesses without being required to acknowledge. This witnessed openness produces Jeong in the witnesses, the specific Korean emotional response to having seen someone be genuinely themselves, outside the register of their social role. The tambourine that everyone uses but nobody requested is the Norebang's most precise social technology. It gives the non-singers something to contribute without requiring them to be vulnerable in the same way as the singer. The tambourine player is participating in the shared experience without taking the Kimian risk of the microphone. They are in the room. They are contributing. The Jeong accumulates. 2 hours in a Norebang can produce the equivalent Jeong of months of normal professional interaction, because the shared imperfection, the witnessed emotional openness, and the specific social permission of the closed room compress the trust-building timeline in a way that no formal team-building activity has ever replicated. If the Karaoke Protocol is explaining why Norebang nights always feel different the next day at work, subscribe to K-Logic. The singing was never just singing. The system was always underneath. The Norebang reveals something important about Korean social engineering, that the most effective hierarchy suspension technologies are the ones that make the suspension feel like play rather than protocol. The Jeongbang suspends hierarchy through the uniform, a deliberate, visible act of social leveling. The Hosik suspends hierarchy through alcohol, a chemical state change that both parties acknowledge. The Norebang suspends hierarchy through fun, a shared activity so obviously recreational that the hierarchy's absence doesn't need to be named or negotiated. This is the Norebang's most sophisticated feature. The hierarchy suspension is hidden inside the entertainment. Nobody walks into a Norebang and thinks, "I am now entering a hierarchy suspension protocol." They think we're going to sing. The social engineering is invisible precisely because the experience is genuinely enjoyable. The Jeong accumulation is real. The Kimian surrender is real. And neither requires conscious acknowledgement, because both are happening inside an activity that explains itself entirely as fun. This is why the Norebang has survived every technological disruption. The smartphone, the streaming platform, the home entertainment system that makes private music better than ever. Because the Norebang was never about the music. It was about the room, the closed door, the shared imperfection, the specific social permission to be genuinely, unglamorously, hierarchically suspended yourself, together. The Norebang's most important feature is its door, not the screen, not the microphone, not the song catalog or the tambourine or the lighting that makes everyone look slightly better than they actually do. The door. The closed door is the social technology. It creates the bounded space that makes every other protocol possible. The shared imperfection, the Kimian surrender, the Jeong accumulation, the hierarchy suspension that couldn't happen anywhere on the other side of it. In Korean social life, which is conducted mostly in open social environments where Nunchi reads the room and Kimian calculates every visible action, the The closed door is a radical act. It says, the normal rules don't apply in here. We are temporarily outside the system. What happens in this room stays in this room. And inside that permission, something genuinely valuable is produced. The manager and the intern who share a microphone for a duet will never interact in quite the same hierarchical way again. The colleague whose high note failed completely has surrendered enough chemian to make future vulnerability slightly less expensive. The group that accumulated 2 hours of Jeong in a room together has built the kind of trust that formal team-building activities spend entire days trying and failing to create. For the traveler or professional who has been to a Korean Norebang, who has picked up the tambourine, who has attempted the song they had no business attempting, who has watched the hierarchy evaporate in a room the size of a large closet, the K-Logic read is simple. You were not doing karaoke. You were inside one of the most precisely engineered social spaces in Korean urban life. The door closed. The system paused. And for 2 hours, everyone in that room was just a person with a microphone, trying their best. If the Karaoke Protocol decoded something you felt in that room, hit like and subscribe to K-Logic. Because the most powerful social spaces are the ones that feel like fun, and Korea built more of them than anywhere else. K-Logic field test complete. The blueprint was always visible. You just needed to close the door first.